Howdy again everyone, and welcome to another of my weird lens reviews. Today I present to you Exhibit A, the Funleader 18mm f8 cap lens. You guessed it, this was a Kickstarter project out of China, which cost me £100 plus shipping, or about $130 US. I was concerned at one point that it wouldn't actually get funded, even mentioning it on my channel feed. I wanted them to get over the line so I could get one to make this video. I'm not sure if they're still making them now, perhaps they'll do another run of them. It was available on Sony E-mount and L-mount Alliance mirrorless cameras only, and it was marketed as being a full-frame lens too, and with such a wide angle of 18mm, that's pretty cool. I should tell you now though, that this is only a full frame lens. If you don't mind some very heavy vignetting in your images. It'll be a lot happier if you shoot on APS-C, or just crop your images a bit. Still, it's pretty cool if you're looking for that lomography effect. This is probably the thinnest lens I've ever handled. It really does live up to its cap lens moniker. I can literally fit my full frame camera into my pocket with this thing on it, which is a bit of a novelty. Despite being so small, this is actually a proper lens though, with 6 optical elements and multi-coating. As for true and outstanding quality, well, we'll be the judge of that. It's the simplest lens to handle in the world, having precisely 0 control points. You cannot control aperture or focus or anything else. It just sits there on your camera. Everything from 0.8 meters onwards will be in focus for you due to that wide angle and dark maximum aperture of f8. So this is definitely not a lens for shooting close-up images of anything, or for shooting indoors or in any darker situation, unless you're happy to crank your ISO levels way up. One thing I will say for it though, is that its actual build quality is really nice, solid, metallic, with a nicely brushed black paint finish. It's certainly well designed, with a ribbed edge to facilitate getting it on and off your camera, and it comes with a nice carry pouch too. Well, let's take a look at image quality. Due to that wide angle and long minimum focus distance, I couldn't use my usual test chart, so here's a special treat for anyone who's been subscribed to my channel for a long time. We'll start by testing it on full frame. At that fixed aperture of f8, there is a sweet spot of sharpness in the middle of the image, but it's a bit bumpy. We see some sharpness here and here, but not there for some reason. Contrast is very low, unfortunately. If you look over in the image corners, then picture quality falls apart very quickly. Well, what was I expecting on a 42 megapixel camera? That's how it does on full frame. What about APS-C? For all you APS-C camera owners out there, here's what it looks like on my 24 megapixel Sony a5100, which I forgot to take with me on my photography day trip for testing. Oops, sorry about that. But to make up for it, here's an image I shot for you in APS-C mode on my Sony a7R II, giving an 18 megapixel image. It's better than nothing. So, in the middle of the picture, same as before really, of course, you can often see some patches of good detail, although contrast is very poor, and the corners, again, not good at all, although not quite as disastrous as they were on full frame. This lens's parameters mean that I'm limited in what other tests I can do on it. You've already seen the vignetting on full frame. As for distortion, well, if we go back to that first test picture, you can see a little waviness along the top of the building's roof there, but nothing horribly dramatic. If bright lights get into your picture, then you'll see this rather nice looking glaring, but at least contrast doesn't get any worse. And I can't really show you the quality of this lens's out of focus backgrounds, because its fixed focus distance means you can't get any, so I guess I'd better wrap this review up. Considering its optical formula, I was kind of hoping that the Funleader 18mm f8 might be a genuinely useful lens for getting halfway decent images, and admittedly, it does have some good patches of sharpness in the middle of your images, but the very high vignetting, very soft corners, and very poor contrast all add up to this really just being a lomography lens. And that's not necessarily a bad thing in itself. It really is quite fun to use, and its pictures have a certain look to them, aided by that dramatic 18mm wide angle. So I guess if the lomography thing is your cup of tea, you might quite enjoy using it.